TED Talk?
No, just for the show.
Hello! We're here live on Welcome to the Red Room. Inside the Red Room is what this is called. Migdalia is back from Anime Expo.
I'm back. I just came back from Anime Expo.
She
like a week later.
You just got out of line for
Yes.
Anime Expo. And Daniel, again, thank you for joining us. We're going to be talking about Twin Peaks episode 9.
Yeah.
Niner.
Part of the return. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we had a really major episode that involved a lot of surrealism. It involved a lot of Lynchian tropes. It involved a time of an old era, a past era.
Yeah.
Yes.
It involved introducing us to 1945's bomb explosion and
my favorite character.
we have a thing randomly there's a super chat. That is not really what's happening right now. That's not really happening right now. We were just testing some things out behind the scenes. But before we dive deep into Twin Peaks as we usually do, I want to introduce my co-host, something I don't do every week, but I'm going to do now. I'm Joe, obviously. This is Daniel. Daniel, what do you do here at that hashtag show?
What do you do, Daniel?
Not much.
Joe Daniel?
Not much, except for a lot of live shows. I do a lot of live shows.
I've never seen you before.
No, I know.
Not so much anymore.
Not so much anymore. Not so much anymore. A lot of my live shows have already they stopped for the season.
I know, it
So
sucks.
yeah, right.
He's been trying to lobby to get on the Power Rangers show.
I am jumping. I will be on the Power Rangers show.
Well, you might be this week, but Migdalia is Twin Peaks now, but you did Legion. We did Legion together, all of us.
Yeah, Legion, Riverdale, you guys. I think Daniel was on a
Riverdale,
few weeks
original,
of Riverdale.
yeah.
And yeah, my shows are on hiatus too, except for this one. And
I
then do the
apologize
Hashtag After Dark.
also if my shirt's extremely distracting. I was told by my producer. I'm coming from somewhere else right now, and I can see it now.
It's like that weird, like,
Oh my God!
yeah.
Move around.
It's
move
not a
around.
fishnet if
no,
you
move
guys are
around.
wondering.
Like do the left to right.
It doesn't do a blur, but I
You
can
guys are
understand. I
welcome.
can see.
So many people are going to see it today.
But one thing I did want to talk about, Migdalia, is something we didn't get to cover with you last week, was talking about episode 8. Now, you saw episode 8, correct?
Did
got
I
light?
see episode 8?
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago.
I
Where it was
believe
like-
I did because we.
We didn't
the
cover
show?
it. We didn't do an after show on it.
Oh no, I don't think I did episode 8 then.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Cool.
So that, all right, so that one, just to catch up to speed, go watch it. It's crazy.
Oh my god!
It's insane. I'm actually
Was
surprised.
Dougie in it?
No.
Oh,
It actually.
no, then you know
Well,
what?
none of the characters that you're going to be familiar with, besides Evil Cooper, is in it.
Yeah.
But he's only in it for the first 5 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything else is like all black and white. It's this theater that they go. It's like 1945. It's 4 minutes of a bomb exploding. It's
Yeah.
insane. It's pretty crazy.
All right, I'll check it out.
But what do we got? Who's in the chat right now? We want to know where you're from, what you're watching, and some of your thoughts on this week's episode.
Yeah.
Also, we like you to share out the video so we could share our love with you guys in the world of Twin Peaks and David Lynch. Also, big announcement. David Lynch, Twin Peaks, and Showtime are going to be at Comic-Con 2017.
Yes, they
We're going to
are.
be there at Comic-Con. We're trying to figure out stuff with Twin Peaks right now, but we'll be out there and we'll be reporting the latest of Twin Peaks. Also, we have the Super Chat feature. What the Super Chat feature does, it helps support the show, and it gives back to you, the fans. So hit that Super Chat feature to keep your comment live and help support the show. Also, we have a TeePublic store, that hashtag show. TeePublic store, check us out there. You can get cool Twin Peaks shirts, cool Power Rangers shirts, cool video game shirts, whatever it may be. But right now we have a special discount going on, and that discount code is that-hashtag-show. That gives you 20% off on your purchase. So the shirt prices go down. I recommend getting the $14 ones right now because they're pretty much next to nothing.
Yeah.
Now that that's all out of the way, let's get this week's episode.
Let's go to the meat.
So
The meat of the heart.
first thing we see is Evil Cooper alive from after being shot. He got shot last week.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks ago.
All,
not
like
two-
bloody. And
He's
then-
walking around bloody. He got shot 2 weeks ago. We see him alive. He looks like we know when the blood was all over him. He just looks like that was dried up blood. But
Yeah.
we know that he was walking in the farm. This is the farm that we knew about that they were going to. We see that they're walking. We cut back to this private jet that the FBI has, and that has Cole, Albert, Diane on it, and LP. Who's LP's?
No, TP.
TP is the other female agent that's with them. They're going to South Dakota. The colonel calls And we know that Agent Cole has to speak louder, obviously. They tell him not to speak so loud. He does.
It's like half deaf.
He has half
Yeah.
deaf.
Half.
He's got the thing in both ears.
Evil Agent Cooper meets Blonsky himself, Abomination, if you will, Tim Roth.
Yes.
Tim
I
Roth
just watched that
with
today.
his shitty Southern accent.
There was a mini like Quentin reunion. Quentin
There was,
Tarantino.
yeah, right?
Oh
cast
yeah,
reunion.
that's true.
Jennifer
Wait.
Jason Leigh was in the same scene.
True.
Ah.
We know that this is the farm, and they call Evil Agent Cooper the boss man. So we know that,
Original.
right? But at least we know some of the people that are working for Evil Agent Cooper.
Yeah.
And it seems like Tim Roth's character is pretty loyal to him.
Oh, completely.
Now we come back to another scene with the FBI's Cole and Diane. He asked Diane if they're willing to go to South Dakota for a stop that's going to involve her. Diane is kind of like, fuck you, I want to go home.
That's her
Yeah.
phrase.
But they do stop. She ends up saying, this is going to be something that you kind of want to do.
Right.
They stop. And Gordon gets news from the warden that Warden Murphy that Coop has flown the coop. That's what they say. Coop has flown the coop.
Did he use those exact words?
Yeah,
Yes. Oh,
Coop has flown the coop.
I
So
love using those. Oh, my God.
Agent Cooper or Evil Cooper is left prison, and now he's on the run. We don't know. I mean, we know where he's at. They don't know where he's at. They're tracking him down.
Yep.
They want to get answers to this Agent Briggs thing now.
Oh, yeah.
So Cooper, or Evil Cooper, we come back to Evil Cooper. He contacts his guy in Vegas. Now we know.
He was indeed the guy that put through the hit,
Yes.
commissioned the hit.
Now let me ask you, Daniel. Evil Agent Cooper. I'm sorry. Dougie.
Yeah.
Dougie has a hit on him. Now we know it's by Evil Agent Cooper.
Yes.
What were some of your thoughts going into that? Because you were the one that was like, oh, now it all it's
No,
kind
yeah,
of
it's
coming together, right?
For me, it's just like, okay, so he knew, because, well, now there's, without a shadow of a doubt, we know that Evil Cooper did create Dougie. And he created Dougie for the whole reason when it came his time to switch back, because he knew he had a time span.
Sure.
When he was supposed to switch back, that's why when he was driving in the car and he was throwing up all that stuff, whatever, he knew that he had that time to switch back. But if he created a kind of a doppelganger that could be taken instead, then he wouldn't have to worry about being taken. But he didn't foresee the fact that when he was when Dougie was taken, that Coop would come back in his place.
Yeah.
So now with that being the case, okay, he has to put a hit out on him and get him taken care of. So it's like Evil Cooper knows a lot more than we expected him to know, and it's pretty cool.
And then Evil Cooper tells Tim Roth to kill the warden. Jennifer Jason Leigh gives Evil Cooper a long, passionate kiss, and he gives him a bag of Cheetos for the road. Dougie is at the police department, sitting in the waiting room. His boss is talking to the detectives. He points out that first his car blew up, and then somebody tries to kill him. Isn't that weird how things work out? Boss tells Dougie that tomorrow, you'll be working with me so we can sort all this out. Because he knows that something's off now.
Yeah.
He knows that something's weird.
We also found out that Dougie had a car accident.
Yes,
about
right before
12
this,
years ago.
that kind of left him.
Right before he started working there,
Right.
12 years ago. We're getting a time span, which I do like. Just sorry.
No. That's a great point. It's a great point. Now we know that something's wrong with Dougie. And these cops seem like they're just.
They're a little comical.
Yeah. But
Especially when they cornered the little pike guy in the hallway. It was just like Naked Gun action.
Yeah, right.
they did that. And I also like the fact that they got Champ from Anchorman to be like one of those guys,
Oh
by the
my
way.
God.
Or Packer.
Packer,
from The Office.
Todd Packer. That's great. I'm so
Packer.
happy that he's in this.
Why?
They don't tell. Dougie has no record also before
Yep.
1996.
Yeah.
So
97.
97.
I'm sorry. Dougie has no record. There's no birth certificate. There's no social security number. There's nothing. Driver's license, anything.
But I thought Dougie was based off a pre-existing person. Like Cooper just inhabited a body.
No, I think. Well, no.
Remember they said in the Red Room that he was manufactured.
Okay.
So with that being the case, that's why I was saying, well, he was created by Evil Cooper. Evil Cooper made him so that when they had to do the switch and go back to the room, they take him instead of Evil Cooper.
You got a new chat in there. What's that say?
Oh, okay. So we have Kat and James Gidry in the chat room. Kat says, Joe, she's jealous of what she saw on your Instagram for what you did earlier.
Dunkirk.
And James says, love seeing Deputy Bobby's mom, Major Garland's Briggs' wife, Betty
Me too.
Briggs. This is the chair.
We are going to get there, but oh man, you have no idea. Every single time I see an old Twin Peaks character, to me, it's like, this is awesome. Like, I love seeing the old characters. I know that this show it feels like they're focusing a lot on the aspect of it, and a little bit less on, because, like, at least I haven't for a long time. The woman with the eye patch. Yeah. That super strength in the TV show. I haven't seen her.
Well, we saw her once.
Saw her once when she was watching the infomercial.
Yeah, that's right.
I haven't seen. I mean, I like the fact that we got Andy and Lucy. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I like seeing the classic characters of Twin Peaks. Like I like seeing like Shelley and all these cats. But Dougie stares at they get prints off of the gun that Ike.
Right.
Ike. What is his name?
Ike the Pike. Yeah.
Ike the Pike. Ike the Spike. Whatever, they get his prints, Dougie's flag, and we hear America the Beautiful.
Just a little bit.
That's a national anthem. We actually hear America the Beautiful.
Shut your mouth, Joe.
He notices the red shoes, and he notices the outlet in the room. The outlet in the room.
The outlet that does this?
It's also Ike the Spider. Ike the Spider gives him a message.
No, it was like a pike.
It's the spider. It's called Ike the Spider.
I don't know.
He has a message and it says no cigar.
I'm gonna fact check this.
Fact check that.
I thought it was like the Spike.
No cigar. No cigar taking medical leave. There is
it's Ike the Spike.
All right, well, I guess you're right. Ike the Spike.
Gosh.
What did you say? Ike the Pike? That was wrong too.
I mean, a pike could be a weapon. Like, get out of here. Ike the Spider. Where'd you get spider from?
I thought he said spider. I feel like you might be close in how it sounds, pike, but it's definitely, what the hell? Why would I ever be Ike the Pike? You know
that was closer to spider.
He's a popping thing of coffee, I guess. We hear that bass music, that classical Twin Peaks, boom, boom, like it's very classical. There was a lot of things in this episode that brought me back to the original. Original show. And that happened to be one of them. And we got to spend a little bit more time in the city of Twin Peaks, which I love. Yeah.
That's why you like that little waterfall scene with the rocks.
Every single time I see that, that invokes the memory of the hotel for me. Every single time I hear the doom doom, that invokes the memory of like the sheriff's office, whatever it may be. But I noticed something interesting now. Is that now we're hearing that kind of like original Twin Peaks soundtrack, but we're seeing it with these goofy cops.
Yes.
Which is kind of interesting though, because Andy was the goofy cop back when it was just Sheriff Truman and Andy, and you would hear that stuff a lot with him. Doom, doom, doom. Like it would very much be those kind of like jazzy beats. Right. So now that we're seeing it in South Dakota, it's very interesting to me. We get back to the Twin Peaks office, Sheriff's office in Twin Peaks.
Guys, we have a super chat.
Oh, what?
Woo! Larry Newbill with $5.
Hashtag Team Joe. Larry Newbill.
Okay, is my nickname here now Rhythm Nation? He's the second fan of ours that's calling me Rhythm Nation.
Who called you? Who started calling you that?
Kat said that on my
Rhythm Nation.
She tagged me in a post today. Rhythm Nation. Well, you guys started calling me that.
Not me. I never called you that. It's probably you.
Rhythm Nation Captain Joe and Dr. Daniel Who. Good evening. Hashtag Joe. All right, Larry. Let's relax with that.
Well, you know that it's not even has nothing to do with you. Whose team are you on? We haven't asked you yet.
The team. Wait, DJ's not even.
I know. So whose team are you choosing?
Oh God.
Choose a side.
Okay, Team Joe, I guess.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's because we're getting ramen after this.
We have a couple new people in the chat. Good evening, Amy. Thanks for joining us. That's a new person I haven't met. And Malu Chin Shin. Why are you doing this to me? Malu Chin Shin. Hi.
That's a pretty cool name, though.
Actually,
Ryan, Super Steel.
Ryan.
He's here. Coco is here with us. Hey. Good evening, guys. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for supporting us on the YouTube live chat. Make sure you like and share this video so more of you can join us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Hit that summary so we can go into it.
But we're back at the sheriff's department, and we get to see Andy having this talk with this kind of passive-aggressive negotiation about chairs.
Yeah.
Right.
She's like, I like the beige one.
Oh yeah.
I like the red one.
Not even that. They just get up from their chair and
They walk over to announce it, and then they go back and sit down.
You know, and interesting enough, that seemed very stage play to me. Like very much like a you would. I felt like it invoked the way that you would see stage plays. Very much like this is the point you make. This is you go back. It just seemed that way to me.
Because it's more about physicality.
Right.
You have to be a little more theatrical when you're on the stage. You know,
what do you
ironically
think?
enough.
What do you think the purpose that served was?
It's just David Lynch. He goes the extra mile. He does the extra thing. I mean, we go back to that 5-minute sweeping of the bar thing from 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Oh my gosh, Migdalia, just wait till you get to episode 8. I'm gonna tell you right now, it is.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
The great thing about episode 8 though is you don't need to watch any episode before or after until I get it.
But it's giving you so much.
Speaking of David Lynch just going that extra mile, going to the extra bar, we see this woman in her house and she's yelling at this guy named Johnny. Johnny apparently runs into
the wall
and dies?
No, he doesn't die because he's
breathing.
clearly breathing.
Yeah,
I don't understand how that happened because there was a hole in the wall with blood dripping down, but the picture was broken right next to him.
Right.
You mean he got shot?
That's what I was like, did he get shot? But no, I don't think he got shot.
He probably knocked the thing off. Like there could have been a coffee table at the edge, or probably in a corner that we didn't get to see. He knocked the pictures down.
But it's
no. I'm sorry. The pictures were probably hanging on the wall.
That's what I'm saying. He had to run into the picture.
I don't think he ran into the picture. I think maybe the picture's like, let's say the picture's down here.
Yeah.
And you know,
and it just fell because of the.
Because he was pretty tall.
Impact.
He was pretty tall. But I don't understand.
Who the hell's Johnny?
That's what I want to know. But and the thing is, one of the beautiful things about Lynch is that I'm gonna give you this seed now, and then the payoff is gonna be so great, and you're not gonna expect it when it happens.
I hope it's so great.
That's how it always does.
The sweeping scene wasn't a great payoff.
No, but what we did find out from this, we did find out is that Michelle or whatever, he's still alive and he's still running. He's still
Michelle.
What's his name?
The bartender.
The big bartender.
Running their little
He's still running the hooker
escort
escort service.
Underage escort service.
Is it Rochelle maybe or something like Jean Rochelle or whatever?
Jean Rochelle.
Jean Rene.
Jean Renault.
Jean Rochelle
or whatever. I don't know. Whatever his name is, but he's still running the escort service, and that was interesting because it was like, oh man, you know.
Larry has a question for you, Migdalia.
Elite Miggy. I like that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Call her MJ.
Wait, hold on. Let me see if someone has any. Amy says the show will be better if you were taking shots during the show.
Wow.
Now, Twin Peaks show or our show?
We
need like a.
We do have rum.
Oh no!
Let's make a deal.
Some of us have to drive.
We all have to drive eventually, but like, let's make a deal. Why don't we do a little game?
Okay.
Every time we get a super chat, we'll take a shot.
Okay.
Deal? Are you in?
I guess so. Since they're few and far between.
Okay. Let's get
Larry, you better put your wallet away.
Larry, put your wallet away.
Josh.
Somebody else.
Beck and Josh.
Joshua.
Can you get us there's a bottle of rum and 3 glasses.
You mean cups?
Cups.
We don't have glasses here.
We can't afford that yet. You super chat us, we haven't made it for glasses. Anyway, let's get back to the show.
Thanks a lot, Amy.
That's what we're going to do. We are going to do, every time we get a super chat, we got to take a shot.
Don't do it.
Bobby sees...
I don't like dark liquor.
It's not.
What's up, whiskey?
It's the best rum you've ever had in your life. Trust me. Drink.
I'm going to cry like Matthew Lillard did.
That was the best scene I've seen this whole season.
Yeah.
Bobby, thank you very
you.
much.
Look at that.
These are going to be ultra shots.
Oh, boy.
You know, we'll just hold off on
Yeah, wait.
So we get to see Bobby, and we get to his mother's place. And this beckons so much memory for me because I hadn't seen her since the finale. Bobby says that, or they question them about Agent Cooper.
Yeah.
Question her about Agent Cooper, and before Major Briggs dies.
Yeah.
She says that someday Major Briggs said that Hawk, Bobby, and Truman, she didn't know it was going to be that Truman, were going to come asking about Agent Cooper. And she gives them something hidden in the chair. Now, I do want to, there was looking up before that whole thing happened.
Yeah.
And there's something that happens in season 2. Bobby meets up with his father, Major Briggs.
Right.
And he says, they're at the diner, the R&R diner, and he says, it's a pretty heartfelt conversation. As Bobby, may I share something with you? A vision I had in my sleep last night, as distinguished from a dream, which is a mere sorting of cataloging of the day's events by the subconscious. This was a vision, fresh and clear as a mountain stream, the mind revealing itself to itself. In my vision, I was on the veranda of a vast estate, a palazzo of some fantastic proportions. There seems to be what is that? Emanate from light. From within this gleaming, radiant marble. I had known this place. I had in fact been born and raised there, and this was my first return, a deepest wellspring of my being. Now, could that possibly mean what we get later on down the line in the episode of him going to the other dimension? Possibly.
Oh.
Or, and I'll continue on. Wondering about, I noticed happily that in the house had been immaculately maintained. There has been had been added a number of additional rooms, but in a way that blended so seamlessly with the original construction, one would never detect any difference. Returning to the house grand foyer, there came a knock on the door. My son was standing there. He was happy and carefree, living a life of deep harmony and joy. We embraced a warm and loving embrace, nothing withheld. We were in the moment as one. My vision ended. I awoke from this tremendous feeling of optimism and confidence in you and your future. That was my vision. It was you. Now, here's what's interesting about that. I know, and if you actually watch that episode, because Bobby's such a douchebag back then.
Yeah.
But if you actually watch that episode, it gets very emotional. Now, the interesting thing about this, I think, is that Bobby, his mother says that your dad always knew that you were, I don't know how you do it, because you were at a different place in your life back then, but your dad always knew that there was something bigger for you. So what do you, after hearing that, what do you think this means?
Well, the thing is, I think Briggs, of course, be able to tap into, subconscious or something like that to see the future. I think it all comes from his exposure to that listening post-alpha.
Sure.
That was like the thing. You
kept saying that throughout the episode.
because Major Briggs essentially got assigned to this thing that tapped into the lodge. And he didn't really know that's exactly what it was at first. Because remember, Major Briggs was at first not a guy that believed in like the supernatural.
Oh, he kind of, I think he was.
I thought that was his thing.
No, I think he was. I think he always was. Because he would always tell them, like, these hills are more mysterious than they seem.
Okay,
and then
right,
they would always, there was always that thing that was like, the owls are more than they seem.
Oh, fuck, yeah. And then later when
there was a lot. And there was another printout like that, too, that I believe it said, I don't know if it said Bob or it said something, but now it's saying Cooper. But that's something else we have to cite. We're going to go jump on to the next scene unless you wanted to comment on that.
No, go ahead.
So we're at the waiting room of the morgue now. Obviously, Diane's smoking.
Yes.
They tell her to put out the cigarette. She said, it's a fucking morgue. I don't disagree with her.
She's right. I mean, they're dead. What are they going to do?
And I love the fact that when we're in the morgue, what's the guy that usually does an autopsy? What's his name? Coroner.
Yeah.
The coroner's talking to Miguel Ferrar's character, Albert. And he's giving him the rundown of, like, this is Albert's body. I'm sorry, not Albert. I'm sorry. This is Major Briggs' body. He was, in his 40s, blah, blah. And they give him the whole history. And then I love his response was great. He goes, he says, what about season 2? That, to me, I love that response because it's almost David Lynch just kind of like, not trolling people. Yeah, I love
probably
it.
trolling, yeah.
Because the thing is, there is so much that we are not addressing from season 2 that they've worked to kind of remove from our memory. And like doing with the Secret History of Twin Peaks, that kind of slowly retcon a lot of what happened in season 2. And I love that.
That doesn't look like a super chat. It's all blue.
Super chat. Looks like a super chat to me.
No, that looks like it's in blue. It's not even like the color. That's not that.
You'll enjoy your ramen, baby.
Oh my God, Larry,
Come
you're
on.
evil.
Hey, Larry, you are evil, but thank you.
Where's that beer we asked for again?
Oh, yeah, right?
That's a great question.
Oh my God. I don't know.
So as Migdalia pours our lovely drinks, I'm going to get into episode. What are you doing?
That's your shot.
What are you doing?
It's a shot. It's the first line. That's a shot.
That's your shot.
That's how they. That's why there's lines on the cup, Joe.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, I think.
Look it up. Google that
it's
shit.
supposed to be like this is two.
So what is this second shot means?
No,
what now?
think about it, that's 2 fingers. You know, somebody like, yo, give me
Yeah,
2 fingers.
can you give me 2 fingers? That's
But
like a
but a shot is
whiskey.
supposed to be 1 finger though. That's why I'm like,
No, it's
that
not.
line is.
No, the first line is the shot line.
I love you making this up right
I'm
now.
not. Google it. I'll bet you 3 shots.
All right, take the bet.
No!
Take the bet. No, wait. I'll split it with him. Take the bet. Take the
I
bet.
take the bet.
He's gonna take the bet. I'm gonna take the bet with him.
That
So who's
doesn't
gonna
make any
Google it?
sense. There's only one bet. I'm not
Only
doing
what?
6
It's
shots.
only with red cups. It's only with red cups.
Solo cup.
Because they're
That's
so
not
large.
Google. That's Keith.
Oh, let's look it up. Look it up.
I believe. I trust him just as much as Google.
Okay. Trust in Keith.
All right, so this is what we're doing. But if you lose, you got to do. Well, you said it's 3 shots.
No, I didn't say per person. I didn't say per person.
I know
Don't
we're
even
splitting
say
it. I know it's not per
Split.
person. We're splitting it.
What's
So
the
if you
limit?
lose, you got to do 3 shots. It's 2. You got 1.5 odds. So check it out.
Which is gonna be this line.
To you.
Go ahead, Google
Cheers. Cheers. Bottoms up. This is
No, you Google it because you want to challenge me. The challenger has to Google.
Oh, it's a lot different. It's a lot different without the Coke.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know. I didn't.
That hurt so bad.
Oh,
That
that
hurt
wine
my
really cleared it
soul.
up. Chasing alcohol with alcohol. I'm not so sure that's a great idea, but we're outside the waiting room. We get to the morgue.
I don't know. I thought it was smooth.
The wine's fine. It is smooth. This is the first time we hear about the blog.
Smooth
The
as
blog
nails.
about the alternate dimension. This is why the librarian died, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
Today we finally answered what we call the zone, and we met the major. This was a quote.
Major.
The quote from the
From his
blog,
blog, yeah.
about the alternate dimension. So we know that the librarian and Hastings, William Hastings, the principal, were. This is the reason why they were connected.
They were in cahoots.
They were in cahoots.
They were like, X-Files believers and stuff.
Cole says Cooper knew Briggs and that now he's here. This is no coincidence. We find a ring in the stomach. Obviously, this is from a past episode, and that is dedicated to Dougie, love Jane E.
Yeah.
And they need to speak to William Hastings right away. What are your because Hastings is something you kind of always speculated on.
Yeah. Well, okay. My thing is, I feel that Hastings was possessed by one of the woodsmen. That woodsman that we saw on that episode.
But not
whose
God
head
of
floated
Light.
away.
Not God of Light.
Not God of Light. Not we called him Abraham Lincoln. 'Cause
Abraham
they
Lincoln.
hid the whole thing.
Abe Lincoln?
He looks like.
Well,
Abraham
that's a historical thing because Mark Frost is really big into history. So
Exactly.
he kind of made him look like Abraham Lincoln,
then
and the other one looks like Karl Marx.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. But so this one was just one of the oh so many woodsmen that are there, and he possessed because what they are, they're essentially like Bob, but kind of lower on the totem pole is the best way to say it. So they're kind of warding spirits, and they kind of assist Bob in ways that he needs things done. So I feel it possessed Matthew Lillard, the principal.
Hastings.
It possessed Hastings, and then had Hastings do exactly what he wanted to do. Because remember, later Bob shows up, talks to the wife, and says, "Oh, you did a good job, blah blah," and then kills her because you can't leave witnesses.
Nope.
So I mean, that
You
whole
sure
thing was
cannot.
orchestrated. That whole thing was orchestrated according to Bob, and Bob needed to get rid of Major Briggs, or at least cover up the whole thing with Major Briggs.
Yes.
My
Jed
opinion-
is eating his lunch in the sheriff's conference room. They tell him get his shit out of there. He's eating 2 TV dinners and a bowl of whatever.
What the f?
I mean, if you ever ate a TV dinner, it's not substantial.
Yeah,
You don't think it's filling?
No, you get a hungry man.
I think they're filling.
No, Hungry
No, they're
Man,
not.
no.
No, they're not.
I used to get the kids'
They're not filling?
cuisines.
But
Yo,
I
the one
would
with
hate
the
it.
brownie in
But
it,
I would-
though.
I
Come
would
on.
hate
I remember that.
I would hate it
Yeah.
because when you get it, sometimes you open it and everything's all shifted around. You're like, oh, what the hell? Why is
It's
the corn over here?
frozen,
Why is it-"
Daniel.
Yes. so you get
What are
it.
you defrosting it first?
No, you get it. And
cooking
sometimes
it on the
it's you get it from the supermarket. They don't fucking care when they're putting it in the.
It's
little
pretty
thing.
decent.
I know. I don't know what supermarket supermarket
I'm
you were
telling
getting.
you,
Mine was
I've
nice
been-
and
and this is-
frozen, but I didn't eat the one with the pudding inside. I said, Mom, what's this?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
how do
I
you?
didn't
Why
get
would
that.
you
Why
eat a
would you-
pudding?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Who
make
does
any
that?
sense to me. I
was like,
never got that either.
"Ugh, warm pudding.
And that always comes with chicken tender ones. I feel like
Yep,
it's always
yep.
weird.
Well, that's the one with the brownie in it, and it had chicken tenders and macaroni.
But
and
my
cheese
brownie
and
would always
corn.
melt because I think I would always
Corn.
overcook it, so it would end up
Yeah,
like the
it would
pudding
look
anyway.
weird. Oof.
It's so random.
Anyway,
though.
shout out to Kids Cuisine.
Kids cuisine. Boop.
Doing
Old school.
90s kids right
I think I'm a
since
Swanson.
1988.
I'm a Swanson guy.
Swanson is the grown-up one.
It's-
I like the
Barely.
grown-up one.
That's
It's
like
not even good.
I used to
between
get
a Hungry
the
Man and a Kids Cuisine.
the Swedish
Well, hey,
meatball
you
ones
know what?
too.
As long as
those
he's
were
not
great.
eating banquet, because that's where it's just
Oh,
like
Banquet.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Banquet was
budget.
good. I like
that.
Banquet.
was a budget TV dinner.
Oh no, yeah, that Banquet was a budget TV dinner. It was like, oh.
I'm
this
actually
reminds me of
craving TV. I'm
single
gonna just
father
buy a
kicked out
ton
house.
of TV dinners and just eat
Oh,
them.
man.
Anyways, Jed gets kicked out, and I love the fact that he tries to open the door with his hands full, and he's like looking at the door. He's like, "Help!"
Little help.
And like Hawk is like, fine.
Hawk
like,
does not like you.
What a dick. That was such a dick move. But they get the thing that Bobby's mom gave him. It's like the cylinder. It almost looked like a cigar case almost. And they have no idea how to open it.
Okay, yeah, look like
Bobby stands back and he laughs at them and he's like, "I know how to open this. My dad brought these home when I was younger." And he says they go outside. Bobby throws it against the ground,
Yes.
listens to it, and it makes a humming noise. After that, he hears like a little click or whatever, and throws it again, opens it, and it's directions essentially.
Yeah.
And those directions, he deciphers them. They decipher them, and they figure out Bobby knows where that's at. Bobby's like, "I know exactly where that is." So that's Bobby named the place, and actually at the back end of the second page of what they had, it had a bunch of numbers, almost like code, I guess.
Almost hexadecimal, like, there were numbers and codes.
Right, and it just said Cooper.
Yeah.
So now we know.
And
Everybody's
Hawk
on the trail.
Quick. Hawk was quick with it. 2 Coopers. Hawk automatically because
2 Coopers,
he was,
exactly.
He was getting hints earlier though. Remember from
This,
Cooper,
do you think this is
and,
all?
in the letter,
right.
in the diary.
This all transpires, I think, because of everything that Cooper went through when he went through the outlet in episode 3, 2 or 3, whatever.
I think so. But it also, remember, now this came from Major Briggs. So I think Briggs knew that Evil Cooper was coming for him.
Oh, yeah.
Or pretty much, he was going to end up dying or something. But remember, what Matthew Lillard says, essentially, Coop didn't kill him.
Yeah.
His head was taken off by the light or whatever when he floated up and blah, blah. And
Could be a
whatever
woodsman.
Lillard said.
Could be a woodsman.
You think so?
Could be.
I don't
Could
know.
be.
The way he describes it, it sounds almost
Because
like
if we're led to believe that the woodman possessed
Lillard.
Hastings,
Oh, Hastings, yeah.
then they could possibly have been a woodsman type killing. Possibly.
Okay.
Back to the back to the FBI talking outside the corners. We get Cole. He joins Diane. He gets his puff of a cigarette. He takes a long drag.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, what's so funny?
James said, "I don't know if Matthew Lillard helped or hurt his chances at a Best Supporting Actor Emmy nod with his performance tonight."
Hit or miss.
With that horrible crying.
Wait, horrible. What are you talking about? This is.
I mean,
so
that was like
comedic.
real
But
time
then
cry
again,
though. It
no,
wasn't
but
like movie cry.
No, but that's how he always does his crying. Does anyone remember Scream?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I'm feeling it woozy, yeah. I just watched that yesterday.
Really?
I love
That's
Scream.
crazy.
I love Scream too.
Such
It's
a good
brilliant.
movie. Such a good
Kevin
movie.
Williamson's a great writer, but I
Yeah.
think that the one thing I loved about Matthew is just because you know how in Scream he's like, "My mom's gonna kill me." This is very much. I just want to go scuba diving. It was very much the same.
That was like a long thing. We were gonna play in the sand and have drinks and get off the plane.
I loved it. I love this. I
Oh
love it.
my god! And Ryan thinks, "Dang, Joe, look how fresh. You going on a date?"
No, I was at as Kat knows and everybody. I was at a press conference earlier. Junket for Dunkirk, the Christopher Nolan movie.
Did you steal?
No, I got pictures with Chris Nolan and Harry Styles though.
Selfie in front of the plane?
No, he told me I
Damn
kept
it.
doing selfie in front. I don't do selfies, so
I know
really
that's
like
why
it.
You don't do
the
selfies?
ironic-
I've
he
seen a
doesn't.
couple selfies.
Then
from
I've
him.
done a couple.
He does
but
group selfies.
I do
That's
group
why I was like,
selfies,
do
yeah.
the ironic selfie with one. Oh.
Dunkirk. If I recommend watching the movie, but I only recommend watching the movie. And I think our producer Keith can agree is in IMAX because to watch it on a smaller screen is a huge disservice to the movie.
You can't. Then you can't do a movie like that.
But I think
That's what I feel about Gravity. Like if you don't see it in the theater,
I agree with
it's
you
not.
on Gravity.
That's not as epic as everyone's making.
You know,
That's very true.
Same thing. I've heard the same thing about Interstellar.
Yeah.
I've heard the same thing about a lot of Valerian. I will say I saw Valerian. Same thing there. If you don't see Valerian in a big screen, don't watch it at all because it's doing yourself a disservice. But back to Hastings, which I wrote here. Great segue. Daniel had this theory that he was possessed by a woodsman.
I have this theory.
Like from Snow White?
Please elaborate.
Okay.
Because I did write that down.
Tell me what a woodsman is.
The woodsmen are the guys that you've seen walking around like covered in soot.
Okay.
Like they're like they look like woodsy characters, and they're just all. And
why did you give me that face when you said soot?
Remember, because you were like
soot.
I'm sorry. Good word. I'm sorry.
I know it got its own paws and
Yeah.
its own like.
Well, because they're covered in soot, they just look like guys doing blackface, but like in wilderness kind
like
of stuff.
chimney sweepers.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like, oh, hello.
She says chimney sweepers. You couldn't have come up with anything better than blackface.
I know.
No, because that's literally what they are. They are guys in blackface.
I know. It was like, damn, you had to go there.
I went there quick.
You could have
I've
said
been
covered
listening
in
to JC
oil.
lately, guys. I'm sorry. It's black.
Things.
I'm wearing Black Panther for God's sake. I am so like Black Panther-ish at the moment. I don't know. So ish.
Black
Is this a maybe that's a new T-shirt? Like instead of blackish, it's like Black Panther-ish.
Yeah. See, there you go. But so I feel once again, which we've discussed, possessed by one of the woodsmen. The woodsmen are just minor bobs, and they do his bidding anyway.
I don't think that's true. Actually,
Okay.
I don't. And I mean, I can understand how you could see that, but I think that the woodsmen aren't necessarily possessed by Bob. I think that there is one. It's almost like one woodman.
I feel they're foot soldiers.
I don't know. I think there's one woodsman that meets up in the lodge and kind of like has people that he controls. I do agree with that, but I think there's one that represents them. I know that there were two.
There were two.
I think there were more at the meeting, yes, but I think there were more.
Well, we're talking about actually, and this is from, was it season 2? Or
no, it's Fire Walk with Me.
On Fire Walk with Me, there was a moment where they were above the convenience store.
Yep.
And that's why
he's like,
last
give me
week
my garbanzo beans.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, and
give me my garbanzo.
Yeah, he's like that whole thing. But there was a weirdness that happened then, and they were all having a meeting. All these celestial beings were having a meeting, and there were 2 woodsmen there. And now we see a bunch of different woodsmen, et cetera, and that's where I just kind of got that. But you were saying that you think there's one.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, I know that we've seen a lot of these characters in the movie and obviously in the television series. Like in the television series, we see the old grandmother and the little grandchild, but he wears that mask. And then we also see that one dude with the giant flat top. That's somebody else that we haven't even addressed in the show at all yet. We saw the giant dude, or the guy with the woodsman. We've seen the giant. We've seen the arm, the little guy. Yeah. So we've seen a lot of them. So I'm not necessarily sure. I'm not necessarily sure how the woodsman thing is going to play out.
Okay. I can get that.
But we see that that Hastings, Principal Hastings, is a part of a blog, writes a blog, owns a blog, and it's called The Search for the Zone. They met the Major. They say, at least in the blog, that they met the Major, and they go on to explain that they met the Major, and the Major requested coordinates, but he was hibernating there. In the other dimension, he was kind of hiding out and hibernating there because he wanted to be somewhere else. Yeah. He eventually, after they gave him the coordinates, he got somewhere else. He got that. But that's interesting though, because in episode 8, which you haven't seen yet, but in episode 8, they're driving down, and the guy that's with Cooper, he's like, I got those numbers memorized.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then Cooper pulls out, and Ray. And Eva Cooper pulls out and he's like, Ray, I really need that information. Yeah. And he pretty much puts a gun to him, but Ray takes out the bullets ahead of time and seemingly kills Cooper. Yeah. But that's the interesting thing there. It's because now does Ray have the information from Agent Jeffries?
I'm wondering. I think that may be it.
Has to be it. But Briggs was hibernating there. Asked for the numbers, the coordinates. And he keeps saying, and when I say he, I mean Hastings, he keeps saying that he loved Ruth. Yes. He loved Ruth and did not kill her. Hastings said he gave him the numbers, but they asked if he knew what the numbers were, and he said, no, Ruth had that information, which is interesting, because Ruth wrote it on her hand.
Yeah. Oh, wait, for just a moment. When he says that Briggs is hibernating...
You guys don't even know what that's from.
Where's that from?
Hey, Arnold.
Oh. when he says that he's hibernating, that would kind of explain why his body and everything hasn't aged. Because in any other dimension, remember, time passes like differently.
You can.
If
I
it
mean,
passes
listen.
at all.
I don't know. It obviously passes.
Yeah, but
And-
like,
well, maybe not. I don't know, because if you think about it, it has to pass because Laura Palmer's older now.
that's true.
And it also has to pass because now the only thing that I would say can get around that is that Agent Cooper isn't coming back as Agent Cooper from the past. He's coming back. He's coming back as Dougie.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is
That's right.
maybe a plot device. We're like, all right, we can't bring Kyle MacLachlan back at the same age that he was back then, but we can make another character Dougie and kind of.
But he's obviously
true.
older,
He's exactly.
Well, yeah.
so it's not like they're trying to retcon and
Oh no.
you know
But I
trying to do
think
a
they're
Steve
just trying to-
Rogers or anything.
But them playing with time in that way, that would explain why they're like, hey, it's a 40-year-old man's body when he should be about roughly 70 something.
Okay.
So it's like, oh, he's hibernating in this other dimension, hibernating like just kind of locked in stasis.
Classic, and yes, I agree with that. Also, he sees Briggs begin to float up, and Briggs says, "Cooper."
Yeah.
So that's interesting. What do you got in the chat?
Larry says, ale and summer beer this time. MJ, Joe, Daniel, and the person who's behind the camera.
Oh yes, yes. Huh? He doesn't know. He doesn't care.
Whatever you suggest, Larry. I guess like,
Actually, dude,
Migdalia brought in summer beer
She
earlier
had
for
some
us.
summer beer. Yeah, it was like a nice shandy.
I know. I was
If you
like,
have
I
some-
could have just said it.
If you do have a good shandy or something, I mean, I am a
Shut
Daniel-
shandy guy.
Now.
Daniel's
I'm
a shandy guy. What's your
I
favorite
am.
kind of beer?
I'm not really a beer
Like if
fan.
I
I'm
can
not
get a
really a beer
shandy, I
drinker
can get
either,
a,
funny
like a. Yeah, I like a shandy. I do.
What's your drink of choice?
Jack and Ginger.
You?
Or gin and tonic.
You?
I'll go for Jack and Coke or Jack and Ginger.
Scotch
Definitely.
all the way. Scotch or wine.
Yeah, wine's good. Good Chardonnay. Good cold glass in the summertime.
Josh, can you fetch me the bottle of wine?
In the wintertime, I like to do some like hot apple cider and brandy.
Ooh.
Also,
hot
so
toddy?
I'm gonna bring it back to Twin Peaks just for 2 seconds.
Okay, 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Go.
So, classic Twin Peaks episode. We're back at the hotel. Not that
Thank
one,
you.
the one that's already open.
Oh, okay.
The
Back,
one
we're
where,
back at the hotel.
Ashley Judd wants to get laid.
Ash, this surprise. First of all, you know what? I will say one thing about this series in general. I'm actually pretty surprised about the caliber of talent they've gotten and the wide array
Yeah.
of talent they've gotten. Like when you get Packard,
Packer.
Tim Roth?
Thank you.
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Jennifer Jason Leigh. You got
Naomi. No, not Naomi Watts.
Ashley Judd.
No.
And Naomi Watts. Yes, Naomi Watts.
Is it Naomi Watts?
Naomi
okay,
Watts.
Naomi Watts. Yeah.
You got what's his name? You called him out on one episode. I was
Matthew
like, that's not him.
Lillard. You got.
Who was it?
Sizemore.
Tom Sizemore. There's a lot of like actors where I'm just a little. Michael Bisping from the UFC.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of
What's
actors.
her face? Amanda Seyfried.
Yeah.
Or
It's quite crazy to me that.
Well,
that
all these people do love Lynch. Like,
all right,
that's
now
the
let me
thing.
ask you a real question.
they have a
I
question.
love Lynch.
Yeah, you
I'm
do.
not going to question anybody else's loyalty.
right.
But I will say this: do you think that they love Lynch, or do you think that they're like, oh, Lynch is such an out there director. He's such an artsy guy that I want to be a part of a Lynch product. or Lynch
I don't know if
production.
it's that they love Lynch or his work, but they love the idea of Lynch. Like that whole thing of what he represents. Which
Because-
is, it's different, it's artsy, it's blah blah blah.
I
love
didn't
that.
know this, but I saw one of the documentaries before Twin Peaks started on Showtime. And there was they were like 5-minute little documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was I didn't know this, but Twin Peaks was one of the first shows with watch parties.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
did not know that, and
Okay.
it was a little surprising to me because I guess that whole mystery of Laura Palmer, which is crazy
Yeah.
because you wouldn't, maybe because we were all kids then.
So
but
it
like,
wasn't Full House.
It wasn't Full House, yeah. It was,
Get
it was
together,
definitely
watch
Twin
Full
Peaks.
House, fill out the mystery of who's the mom.
But anyways, back to the classic scene. We're at the hotel. Beverly and Ben are about to make out. They still hear the humming. Now, what is the humming? Now, I told Daniel I had a theory. I think the humming is, if you remember season 2 of Twin Peaks, I think it's Josie in the door handle, and that's what's causing the humming.
Right.
We're cut back to the bar, and as we do classically now in every episode, we know when the show's going to come to a close because we're at the bar,
Yes,
and there
with the
happens
music.
to be a musical scene. Now, those songs are there, they're not there by accident. Every single song is chosen
yes.
by choice. The only time we were at the bar and didn't make any sense was that 5-minute sweeping scene.
But it had music.
It had music.
Yeah.
We got through
Because
season...
you thought that was the end.
Can't get that 5 minutes back.
Yeah.
Can't get that back.
But that's the episode. Now,
well, no, we did. One thing I just want to point out, that meth head.
Those two ladies.
With the rash.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with that. Oh, God. But
I thought like a whole thing of her skin was going to come
That's
off
what
for
I
a
was
minute.
thinking. That's what I was thinking. Like, that's going to happen. But I was like, okay, so that meth head with the scratching. And, like, so we've had 2 female meth heads that have been really weird so far in the season. That one and then the 119. The mother of the kid that watched the car blow up.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Without a scratch.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
Can't forget
And,
that.
119.
Yeah, and going over that scene, also there were some interesting things. Like she had a red balloon in her scene, which was just kind of weird because later there are red balloons outside of Dougie's shop where he was
Show us how to
outside of
Dougie.
his store.
Yes.
I'm gonna teach you how to Dougie.
No, I want.
Teach me how to Dougie.
I want
I
someone to
don't
teach
even
me how to
know how to do
Dougie.
that. I remember it's like I don't remember. Okay, that's it. I'm not gonna teach you that. So anyway, but
That's good.
there's like some weird things, and I just want to know what the connection is. Like for that 119 lady, I want to know what the connection is for these new meth heads.
I mean, it doesn't
that are
have to be
sitting
a
there in the
connection.
barn.
There's meth heads everywhere.
But that's the thing with Lynch. There has to be, and he will give it to us.
He's
I want-
trying
Like
to make
there
you
is-
crazy right now by thinking there's a connection, and there's not really a connection.
I want to know what everybody in the chat room thinks about this episode. Now, if we don't really do a ranking system here,
Right.
But if we did, what would you kind of give? What would you say that you liked about this episode? What did you not like? Like, give me your guys' book report critique of what you thought.
Okay. Okay.
I mean,
I
I don't like.
Yeah,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
I just like things to be like, I don't know, not clear cut. I do like a little bit of a
Because
mystery.
you like Legion, and that was not clear cut.
No, it wasn't. I like non-linear storytelling. I do like, mysteries or whatever. But it's just like,
So I want to
because
know.
I think because I haven't seen the old series and the movie, I'm just like kind of
Yeah, I
trying
mean,
to follow along here.
This is like me picking up the 4th Harry Potter book and trying to like figure everything out. Now I'm sure I'd be able to figure it all out. I'm pretty sure I don't need the other 3.
Yeah.
There are 3. Other
No,
guys.
Prisoner of
There's a
Azkaban
whole
is
bunch.
great.
There's a
It's a
whole
great one.
Which one's that one?
The third one.
The third one is the only movie that I've only seen 1, 2, and 3. Third one is great because that's Sirius Black, right? That's my favorite character.
Yeah.
Alfonso Cuarón.
Yeah, he's a tragic character. It's great.
Sirius Black is also played by Gary Oldman, and I actually just learned this. I didn't know this, but I didn't know that Ray Fiennes played Voldemort.
I told you. Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember.
dude.
I told
I
you.
did
that.
not know
Come on,
that.
God.
You
I
told
told
me
Give
you
it the
that.
that.
times.
He was like, "What?" I was like,
That,
"Yeah."
year's-
shocked.
that news is like 15 years old.
Well, see, but the thing is, they remove his nose digitally and all that. It's kind of like, I didn't know that
Ooh,
was him.
cat's got the nose.
Yeah, right. You don't know. You're just like, you can't figure it out. But yeah, Ray Fiennes.
A lot of nose jokes. With
Would
that
you
one.
have rather have had this season of Twin Peaks in a movie, or because let's be real, I don't think a lot of people would have went to go see it.
I like movies. No, they would have saw. They would have saw.
You think so?
movie.
Because I don't. I feel like the X Files
Not
movie.
at the movies.
I think the X Files movie was a flop.
What X Files movie?
The last one that came
The
out.
second- yeah. But, wait.
Wasn't
that-
that a miniseries?
Exactly, Migdalia. Exactly. The last X Files movie was a flop.
But wasn't it like?
There was a series after that.
Okay.
Yeah, true. They came back, and people did like that. But the thing is, the film, he's right. Because the first X-Files film was people loved. The second one, people were like, what the hell is this? And then, I don't even know if they had a third. Did they have a third? No? Anyone? So, yeah,
No, I
they
think
had
there were
two.
only two.
So, yeah, because the first one was good. Sold out, great, blah, blah. Second one, nobody wanted to see it. It was shit.
Migdalia. So what's the chat saying?
Let's see. God, why are you doing this to me again? Milish Cushion says Albert respected her. I don't know who her is referring to. But also he says that, or she says, it's the drugs the magician is pushing in TP. Are there any drugs that you guys are aware of being pushed into TP? One of those FBI agent?
TP?
Yeah.
Who's pushing drugs into TP? I mean, I haven't seen her taken.
Okay. Jared thinks the long ring sound at the hotel has
Oh,
got to
TP
be...
meaning Twin Peaks. Okay. He says the drugs mean, yeah, okay.
You
What?
thought the
I
agent. Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought the
Yeah.
agent.
Well, that's what I thought too. Jared says the long ring sound at the hotel has got to be Josie Packard.
Whoa, thank you. That's my theory too.
That's funny because remember people thought they thought Josie was the woman inside of that station.
Well, I
And
did
was
too.
like,
I'm not gonna lie,
yeah,
I did
see?
too, and I think she still can be.
She could be.
But I think that what's interesting about that, so in episode 2, we see that woman with her eyes kind of melted in. That could be Josie.
Yeah.
But I also think that ringing is also Josie. Now, we do know that the actress that played Josie in the original series was not asked back.
Yeah.
I think that could be by design, though.
Yeah,
I think that if this comes back another season, then you might get a little bit more of that story.
Right.
We know that one actor said they were coming back and then didn't come back. And that's the original actor that played Harry S. Truman, the brother of the Truman we're getting now, which is played by Robert Forster.
Yeah, they also said the arm. He was supposed to come back.
He said no.
No, they said he showed up on set. They said he was difficult to work with.
Oh, really?
And they said goodbye, and that was it for
Oh,
him.
interesting.
Goodbye.
What else we got in the chat?
Kat says, I'm giving it a 3. I'm not crazy about it, but I need to watch the show after I watch Jessica Jones. That's said by JD yesterday in a chat room on #AfterDark.
Oh, okay.
What was that all about?
Wait, was JD here? I guess he was in the
Yeah,
chat.
he was in the chat.
Kat's a little bit behind on her shows.
Cool, no
Which
problem.
is okay.
No problem.
That's okay. That's okay, Kat.
If you like Twin
So am
Peaks,
I.
what are some shows that you'd recommend people to watch?
Lost, of course.
Legion.
Lost in Legion, yeah. So we were trying to figure it out. If we were Lost characters, who would you be?
Oh, I heard you guys saying this.
Yeah, now
talking
you're allowed to
about this.
respond to it.
No, what did you guys assign to me?
We didn't-
Because
we
you're like,
didn't.
first you gave me a character, and you're like, no, wait, we're gonna leave her for last.
Oh,
We didn't give you one.
nice.
That's fucked up, dude.
That's
Racist.
You know who you'd be? You'd be.
Because there's no black characters on there.
Well.
You,
there
yeah, you
is-
could be the
I
Rose.
don't know, yeah. You want to be Rose?
She is. You're like, fuck. That's the only one. It's true.
Hey, later she's very important. She becomes.
You
know,
could
Adam
be
and
Danielle
Eve.
Rousseau, the crazy lady in the woods.
The crazy
I'm also
lady in the
half
woods.
Spanish, so I could be Michelle Rodriguez, but she
I
got
hated
shot.
that
Like,
character.
Ooh, she got shot. They hated her
she
so
got,
much. They ran
dude.
her
When
off,
she
yeah.
got shot, I was like, ah!
Well,
I didn't expect
I
that.
wasn't because remember she had the whole problem with
Oh no,
like
no.
drug
So I think Ernie would be
Mercutio
shot.
dude was black too, but that's a man.
Yeah.
Oh, he was great.
Whoa!
I like it.
Well, I think that'd be Daniel.
Walt!
I think Ernie would be Charlie.
I can see him.
That's
do the
an
whole
easy Charlie.
You know,
Yeah.
not Penny's boat. I can see it.
I don't. After that, it really gets tough with the guys. Ro, I think you don't know Ro.
No, I don't know Ro.
He'll be-
Who is
he'll-
Ash?
he'll be back-
Hashtag.
He'll
Who
be
is
back
Ash?
Sunday. I think who would
Sawyer.
Daryl? Oh, Daryl would be Boone.
Oh yeah, he would.
Daryl would be Boone.
Yeah.
Remember Boone?
I
Yeah,
can see him
I
die from getting crushed by a plane.
Who would Keith be?
Ooh.
The Man in Black. Or Jacob. He'd probably be
probably
Jacob.
would be
He'd
Jacob.
probably be Jacob.
Isn't Jacob the guy at the end?
Yeah.
Towards the end?
Yeah. Collecting everyone, getting them there. Yeah.
Did he die?
I can see that.
No. Technically, but he kind of passed on his power.
Yeah. To Hurley?
Hurley.
Yeah.
I think that's obviously JD.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's
The whole
no
Quite
question.
his temperament
obviously.
and everything.
His temperament, the way he is, that's obviously JD.
Yeah.
I think Maverick would be Kate.
Who's Shannon now?
Who would be Shannon? Jessica.
Yeah. Okay.
Easy.
Okay.
I think not Migdalia. I think Jasmine would be Saeed.
Yeah, she would.
No, she wouldn't.
That's
She
racist.
would.
She wouldn't.
She'd be so.
She'd
oh
be a
my
log
God.
carrying
I
character.
could see her. I could see her answering like,
Stop.
"Yeah, I was a killer."
She'd be one of the others.
Ooh. Ooh. The
Oh,
stewardess?
actually, I take it back. I
Stewardess?
take it back. You know who Jessica would be? She would be Juliet.
Juliet!
I think Kelly would be Claire.
Yeah. My baby, my squirrel baby.
No, she would be like, my Xbox, my PS4.
PS4.
But then she'd have to make one, fashion one out of like a log. Remember, it was a squirrel baby. She'd have
Yeah.
like a log Xbox. My Xbox.
I really don't know. I think you probably would be Michelle Rodriguez's character.
Oh, that's racist.
Hey, you're
Not
so
really.
tough.
You would be Sawyer, wouldn't you?
No, I'd
That's
be-
who you're assigning yourself.
I would be Jack.
You wouldn't be Jack.
I
Wait, who's Echo?
We
Mr.
we don't have
Echo?
an Echo.
I don't
I
think
don't think we'd
Mr.
have an Echo. You'd be the closest
Yeah,
we
no.
would have. But you're definitely not
I'm
Mr.
not
Echo.
Mr. Echo because I.
What about
I'm
Brian?
not afraid. I'm
Brian's
not afraid of
Mr.
the smoke.
Echo.
No, I think Brian would be Rodrigo Santoro's character that gets killed in the third season. The one that was it.
spider bite?
The spider bite. Remember that one?
Yes.
He would totally be that. What was his
Why
name?
you gotta do
Paulo.
Brian dirty
Mickey
like
and
that?
Paulo. He'd be Paulo.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who Mr. Echo would be? It would be DJ.
Oh shoot! John,
totally would
John,
be.
you are clearly wrong. It's not the way it is.
Josh would be John.
He is one of a man of faith and a man of science.
Yeah, I think.
I think we got our new Mr. Eka right here. That's
no,
a great audition.
I would just voice it while DJ stands there and does it like Panama.
Oh, gotcha. Like motion capture.
You don't think I'd be Jack? He's always drinking. I'd be off-island Jack, like the one that gets the two.
We gotta go back. Alcohol. That would be you.
Who's Kate? Is that Robin Chan?
No, we said Kate was
Chan? Robin Chan?
Nope, it's
Ooh.
she's not on our. She doesn't.
Ooh,
even comment
this.
anymore.
Oh, we're picking cast and crew. Okay, sorry. I thought we were like picking out of the pot here. Like,
You're such an idiot. You're a moron.
Are you guys
those are
enjoying
Joe's
this?
comebacks when he's speechless. He calls
guys
everyone
enjoying
an
this, or
idiot.
you want us to go back
or
to
they're a
talking about
moron.
Or a mutton head.
Yeah, or a mutton head.
Mutton
Are you
head.
okay?
Yeah, you're an idiot. Touch me. Touch me. We're not there yet.
You're making so many people motion sick right now. Moving around with the
Stop.
It's a comforting hand on the shoulder.
Don't touch me. We're not there yet.
God, one shot, and this is what's happening.
Barely even a shot. She's an
Barely.
idiot and doesn't realize that it's not just this little line.
You know, just feeling butthurt. He has to use that like 3 times in a minute.
All right, you're gonna tell me that that's a shot. This
This
up there is
little
a shot.
line is a shot.
Let's settle this.
Plastic
Daniel,
cup
we're
line.
gonna Google
Hold
it.
on,
We're
I'm
gonna Google
doing
it.
it.
She's
Plastic.
Googling it.
Than a solo cup.
That's
It's
only for
taller
solo.
than a
We're
solo
gonna
cup, but it's
figure it
not
out.
as wide, so that's true. A solo
No,
cup
wait,
is
clear
wide as
plastic
well.
clear plastic cup line.
You're right.
Ooh, it already says it right there.
She's
No,
like,
that's a solo cup.
Yeah, he
I
was
see
right,
a bead
solo cup.
of sweat running down your face there. 3 shots it is, huh? Where's the thing? Give it 3 shots.
Yep.
She's on Reddit. You're gonna really trust Reddit.
Oh my
with
God!
this
No,
answer.
I love that. I love it because
That's
once
great.
she did it on Google, it brought up the solo cup and said immediately how that was indeed a shot. And then so now she's looking like I need someone to protect me and please say
Isn't
the
jigger
clear
a
plastic
racist
cup.
remark? I don't like that word.
Jigger.
That sounds
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, I'm like jigger.
Are you changing the subject?
See, right there.
That's a solo
1
cup.
ounce. It's the same lines.
No,
That's
a solo
the
cup
same
is
line
wider.
right there.
No, but it's not.
That's the
A
same
solo cup is wider.
line.
Solo cup
A
is
solo cup
wider.
is wider. That's the
I
thing.
think that is reported.
Yeah. Oh my God.
There
this
is a
great.
clear
This-
one though right there if you want to click that.
It's measuring the size of the cup in diameter.
And see, and that's
Hey, how do you
9
like your
ounce
vet?
everything. Yeah. So
All cups are the same.
yeah. So
So
that's
see, look,
Yeah,
1
it's
ounce.
this line, guys.
yeah, it's that line, same line right there.
Right,
that
that's a
little
shot.
line.
1 ounce.
Nope.
Uh,
Yeah,
One
but that's
ounce
a
liquor.
solo cup.
This
Solo
is the
cups-
same thing.
This is not the same size as the solo cup.
We're just having a round two.
That's
Look,
not.
the measurements right here is the same thing right there, and then to here. Now these are just extra lines here, okay?
She's
But if
looking
you
at a picture
eliminate
that's
that,
not even
that's
close
the
to
second
scale.
part.
If you ever have kids and it's all about like,
never
hey,
having kids,
you
so
need
leave
to
it
understand
alone.
how much medicine you're to give your kid, and you just have a cup
I
like
won't
this,
have
and they
to
say
worry
an
about
ounce.
that. I'm not
You're
having
fucked.
kids.
Thank God.
They
Thank
said
God.
the last line.
Yeah, right. She's like, here it goes. You get it all filled up all the way.
This show's
Just
broken
because you
down.
guys got played.
Oh.
What?
I just schooled you. Just got schooled.
You guys can
What's
feel
it
free
saying
to
in the
look
chat?
yourself.
Why don't you wait in a line for AX?
Larry
yourself,
is
guys.
leaving. Thank you for your super chat, Larry. We
Thank you, Larry.
appreciate it. We look forward to your care package to us over here.
Yeah.
James says poor Jerry's foot was talking to him in
That
the
was
woods.
bad.
Oh my God.
We didn't get to that.
No,
that
we didn't.
weirdness.
That's true. That was.
I don't-
What? It has he been high for the last 3 or 4 episodes?
He's been high
Yeah,
every
all
episode.
the time. That's all he does now.
What is
That
his
was
What
just-
is his deal?
He's
Well,
high.
Why is he
he
here?
didn't used to be like that.
No, but the thing is,
Purpose,
you have to
yeah.
realize right now, it's at a point where for the family company business, he's not running it. It's his
But
brother.
what
that is.
part,
It's
what
just kinda-
point I do have to agree with Migdalia a little bit on this is what point do you think that serves in the show? I mean, because you got to assume that there's a payoff somewhere, or maybe
yeah,
not.
is he
It's
some
David
kind
Lynch,
of
maybe
significant
not.
character?
Well, he was
He was
prior,
at one
but like,
time, yeah.
but why now would
Is he
get
just like
such
a red
shit?
herring? Like, hey,
just
this
afforded to
person
his
doesn't
brother.
mean anything,
Here-
but I'm going to let you, the audience.
Here's the thing: for the first 2 seasons of the show, the big mystery was who killed Laura Palmer, right?
Right.
So getting back engulfed in the show, what's the big mystery? If we're looking at it at the end of the day,
Isn't
what
it
is
like
I feel that was a
Cooper's
mystery.
deal?
That's what I would. That's what I would assume.
I would feel the mystery for season 1 was exactly who killed Laura Palmer. We found that out.
Not
And
in
then-
not till season 2. Not till
Oh,
the
it was
middle of
until
season
the middle
2.
of season 2. That's right. And then after that, it was.
Then after that, it was like why and who. And,
Yeah, it was. Well, then
So-
it was a lot of stuff like.
so now
wow,
is it?
this
Is
and
it?
that.
I think the mystery going in was what happened to Cooper.
Yes.
So because we know that Cooper is possessed by Bob at the end of season 2, which ends the series for the next 26 years.
Yep.
Right.
So 26 years later, we're seeing kind of what happens. Now, the general assumption is what happens to Cooper now.
Yeah.
Now we're getting so much more than that because there was a great comment that we got from a viewer a couple weeks ago that said something to the effect of that he thinks Richard Horn, which is the drug dealer kid that you thought.
Yep.
He thinks that is Agent Cooper or Evil Cooper's son with Audrey Horn, who she's unconscious in a coma in the hospital and pretty much raped her, and she had a baby, which is crazy.
That actually
now,
does kind of line up.
But it does line up mainly for one other thing, though, is because Billy Zane's character, Jack, has a romance with Audrey Horn at the very end of season 2.
Yeah.
Right.
And she loses her virginity to this character. Now, if this all happens with evil Agent Cooper, then it is his kid, then we can understand now that Richard could be Evil Cooper's kid.
Well,
but I think that they might be led to believe, like, oh, this could be Jack's son.
Well, but there's also the story that they said Cooper went to visit, what's her name, before he left. Remember? Cooper went to go visit Horn in her coma, right? Before he disappeared forever, or for 25 years, he went to visit her. And some people were thinking, did he, as Evil Coop, go visit her and literally rape her while she was in a coma?
Could
And
be.
I'm like,
That is weird. That is dark.
Well, listen, it's
Twin Peaks.
David Lynch. Also, I believe our producer Keith possibly has footage he wants to run.
You guys better not do any kind of super chat crap.
What do you mean?
You're
I'm
right.
not
Especially
even-
when Jezzer has a whole vault full of videos from last week.
You are right. We shouldn't do a super chat crap. We should just do it. That's
No!
And I think it would be something that the fans
This
and audience wants.
is cyberbullying, and I don't want any of you viewers to support this.
She's got a
I have no
point.
idea
I
what-
want you to report
She's
this.
got a point.
I have no idea
Got a
what they're
point.
talking
She called
about.
it cyberbullying.
Yeah,
She's
okay.
got a
That's
point.
why you knew? That's
She's
why
got
you
a
knew what he wanted to do?
Well, let's see. Let's cut to the footage.
No, let's not cut to the footage.
It's David Lynch directed, I
It
heard.
is. Oh my
And we
God.
have a scene for next week's episode of Twin Peaks. Cut to the footage.
I'm glad
We'll do
I
it
can
next week.
entertain you, Soup.
We'll do it next week.
You do nothing any week.
But anyway, that's going to do it for us right here at that hashtag show on Inside the Red Room. Migdalia, where can we find you next?
I'm gonna find you over your bed ready to stab you in the face.
Oh, over your bed.
All right, that's not what I finished off
To
saying.
stab you. Ooh. I don't know.
I don't know. I'll be back next Sunday for another riveting episode of Twin Peaks.
What about you?
I'll also be back next Sunday for another riveting episode of Twin Peaks. But I will be on Hessian Hangout this week.
You're also going to be on
We'll
More for
see
Monday.
that. And, oh yeah, I'll be on More for Monday.
Wow, you got your Power Rangers thing.
Yes, I do enjoy some Power Rangers. I like to indulge.
Go, go.
Are you asking me on After Dark this week?
Oh yeah, I actually will.
Are you?
I will.
No, I have a photo shoot to do in Joshua, at the Joshua Tree.
Oh no way, really?
You're going to Joshua Tree?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the photo shoot there.
Is it a cosplay photo shoot?
No.
It's a regular photo shoot.
Yes.
Interesting.
So you guys heard it here first. You know where to be next week. Joshua.
No. Oh my God, shut up.
She's gonna need you guys to make sure you get blocker shots and everything. So.
I will be at D23. You can catch me there live on Saturday. We'll be at D23. Other than that, you can watch. Tomorrow we're dropping a big story.
Big. Huge.
So
the
if you-
biggest.
Thanks, Donald. If you haven't been following along, the last week we dropped a big story that was the Ryan Gosling Willy Wonka story.
Yep.
We also dropped what was the other one?
The Green Lantern Corps.
Green Lantern movie story. And we did before that we did what was
Teen
the one?
Titans.
Teen Titans and
yeah.
X-Men.
X-Men. So we did a
We've been
lot.
on a big roll.
So
We're on the roll, guys.
this
We're keep
Monday
going
this story.
we have if you guys have seen Spider-Man, we have news about Venom, the Venom movie. So that'll be out on Monday. Check out the news feed there. Jessica and I deliver that. Throughout the week, actually, we're also going to be delivering a lot of other big news pieces. But check those out. But thanks for watching. And before we sign out, where can people find you, Daniel?
You can find me on social media as Battlestar Galactica.
Can you spell that?
Which is like,
that's Battlestar and then G-A Black
It's a mouthful.
T-I-C-A.
Why is it
Battlestar
a thing?
Galactica, and then also on Twitter as that hashtag BSG.
Oh, you
Why
changed
did
it?
you do that?
Battlestar Galactica is fantastical. It's like a great name. It rolls
Battlestar
off the tongue.
Galactica.
Battlestar,
I can't say that.
Battlestar
Say
Galactica.
that 5 times fast.
Battlestar Galactica. Battlestar Galactica. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. You said say that 5 times fast. Okay. That 5 times fast. You said say that 5 times fast. I mean, I'm just saying. You know. There you go.
Oh my God.
Where can we find you?
I'm glad you found words.
Battlestar
I will be on
Galactica.
Facebook, Mickey
Boom.
Spicy, Instagram, Mickey Cosplay. It's great being with you guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
You can find me at that hashtag Joe everywhere on social media, and you can also watch me over at Screen Rant. What did I do? Was this movie? Dunkirk?
Dunkirk.
I didn't do anything for that movie, but Valerian.
Oh, yeah,
You can
that's
check
right,
out my
that's
interviews
right.
for that movie, Valerian.
Valerian.
But that's gonna do it for us right
At
here.
some point, my Saturn Awards interviews are going to come.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
that's right.
yeah, how come they haven't come out?
I don't know. We need to ask one of our producers. Probably named Josh. I think his
Josh
name
back
is
in
Josh. I don't know. Have you guys
She's
seen
like-
Josh?
Hey, can we talk about something off air about Ernie and the Flash?
Oh
Yes.
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 All right, that's gonna do it for us this week. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Stay up to date with everything trending.
And geek pop culture.